I can explain.
You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life and I won't look back ever again. For what you gonna be, and do you believe you can do anything? And what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
So I thought it was time for a new intro. I hope you guys like it. But anyway, before we get into all of this, I highly recommend you guys check out the latest Falcon Friday video where I test out the off-road capabilities of the AU Falcon. Making that video was definitely the most fun I've had in a car in quite some time. And yes, going fast in a straight line is a hell of a lot of fun, but off-road is just on another level. Anyway, back to the M104 Turbo. So in last week's video, we finally fixed the fuel leak by installing a new surge tank in the trunk. But now moving to the front of the car, we've been having a significant oil leak for quite some time, and that is what I decided to get into this week. And I've narrowed it down to 3 locations. So I decided to rip off the whole front end of the car to sort this out, along with removing the custom front end that I bought for the car a while ago, and this piece over here, as well as the exhaust. I also drained the oil and the coolant. You'll understand here in a second why I did all that, but now for our first oil leak is this little banjo bolt on the turbo oil feed line. So I'm still trying to figure out a way how we can make this look a bit neater. This was just a temporary solution to get the oil feed line into the turbo, as well as the oil pressure gates for inside the car for me to keep an eye on. So for now, I just gave this little fitting that screws into the banjo bolt a bit of Loctite to seal it up, and hopefully that'll sort out the issue. So all in all, an easy fix on that. Now moving on to over here. Now this is the reason I drained the coolant out of the engine, because I thought it was this cover over here that's leaking. So down in there you have like a U seal, and I thought that was leaking. But if you look closely, usually oil doesn't leak upwards, it goes down with the gravity. So what I figured out is that it's this variable solenoid thing, I don't know what you call that, but that was leaking. Now I'm not sure if that is the only leak we have up in the front over here. The cover might as well also be leaking, but for now I'm just gonna sort out this solenoid. Removing this timing chain cover isn't such a big deal, but I don't want to do it unnecessarily, so we're just gonna sort out this solenoid. It wasn't leaking where it connects up or mates up to the surface over there. It's actually the solenoid itself. So what I did was just seal it up over there with some gasket maker I had left from the head spacer we installed over there. So just this Victor Heinz universal sealing compound that I got all the way in there. Now I can go out and just buy a new one, but with the setup we're running, we're not using this, so I'm just going to do it like this. So that's ready to go back on the car. So building cars is freaking easy. There's 2 of the 3 oil leaks already sorted out in like 10 minutes. But number 3 is the big daddy. I procrastinated way too long to do this, because to fix that leak I had to remove the custom oil pan that I built for the M104 to fit into the W203 chassis. So working in here along with the engine hoist, picking up the engine is quite a tight squeeze, so I didn't film much of it. But here's what went down. A couple of months ago, when I cut out a piece of the cross member and built this removable piece, The idea was to be able to remove the oil pan while the engine is still in the car. Might just need to lift it up a bit. So I started off unbolting the two engine mounts and carefully lifting up the engine. After that, I unscrewed the 35 bolts that's on the oil pan, and I could slide it out from between the steering rack and the engine. Not a fun situation, but at least now we know it can be done. So the leak was coming from where the oil pan mates against the engine, so I just cleaned it up, resealed it, and got it back into place. Then just carefully lowered the engine back down and bolted down the engine mounts once again. So 2 days later, all 3 oil leaks is taken care of. So now just to put everything back together so that we can test it out.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
And you ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again.
No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great. I know it feels like things get in your way. Push through those walls and the others will fall. Sit up, stand tall, you can get through it all. I need some energy, anxiety's no friend to me. I have a short memory, I don't really remember things. That's how I move on, that's how I stay strong. A new day's on, I'll keep moving right along. And I feel like the pain in the past, it needs to stay in the past. You gotta take off the cast. I wanna feel like I'm a new person. I wanna have clear vision and purpose. And I feel like the pain shouldn't last. If you can move on and past the things that make you feel bad, and you can change in your brain, I'm certain. I've done it before, and man, I'm not perfect.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and
So I think it's fair to say that I can do this with my eyes closed. So a couple of hours later, got everything put back together. So I guess the only thing left to do now is to start up the car, bleed the coolant, and then check if we solved all the oil leaks. So because I left everything hooked up and didn't really disconnect anything, I'm hoping it fires right up. So let's see. Come on. So I'll be honest, I think it's still leaking, or I don't think so, I know so. Like, what the hell? But anyway, I'm kind of starting to think that it might be another rear main seal. So I did replace the rear main seal back when I bought the engine, but I mean, I don't have another explanation for that. Other than that, the turbo feed line seems to be good, and then that VVT solenoid also seems to be good. It's a bit late today to go for test drive, so I'll probably do that tomorrow, but for now, that's going to be it for this week's video. I'm kind of needing to divert my attention to some other things, some life-changing things happening over the next couple of weeks. So please make sure you are subscribed. I have big plans coming up, big changes happening. So yeah, like always, thank you guys for watching, and then I'll see you in the next one.
'Cause enough is enough.